I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman.
So you're a teammate of Leah Thomas, a biological male.
You're telling me the doctors that they're training don't know the difference between men and women?
Yeah, I'm gonna need UPenn to make a full press conference and say it with their chest.
They didn't just strip her of her titles, y'all. They erased her from their history. Gone.
Grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. You know what we're about to talk about. We're going to talk about the University of Pennsylvania eating crow and accepting the observable reality that most sane people have already acknowledged that men should not compete against women in women's sports. Anyway, they got rid of the swimmer, the male swimmer that was competing in female. This is crazy. It's hard to actually wrap your mind around the lyrical lunacy that you have to employ in order to do this and say this. A guy was competing in women's sports. The school was okay with it. And now, because of Trump saying, hey, y'all gonna lose federal funding, they said, yeah, about that. We're gonna go ahead and get that white out. And they whited him out of all the record books. They gave all the women that deserve to have won those medals and those titles, and they're back in they're back in business. So let's bring this in. Let's go.
Now to another major university reaching a deal with the Trump administration, this time concerning transgender athletes. This morning, the University of Pennsylvania reversing course, saying it will now ban transgender athletes and strip trans swimmer Leah Thomas of her swimming titles. The school reaching a deal with the Trump administration, saying it will comply with Title IX, as interpreted by the Department of Education, and saying it will restore the records and titles of female athletes who lost to Thomas and send apology letters to them.
Leah Thomas pulling away.
Leah Thomas made history in 2022, becoming the first openly transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I title. The win sparked fierce debate over fairness, including from some of Thomas's own teammates.
I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman. I was prepared for that.
The Trump administration earlier this year suspended $175 million in federal funds from Penn, claiming the University of Pennsylvania repeatedly violated civil rights laws by allowing men to compete in women's sports.
Amen.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon calling Penn's new agreement a major victory for women and girls nationwide. No comment yet from the NCAA or Leah Thomas, but in a 2022 interview, she defended her decision to compete.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We just want to be able to live our lives.
The NCAA still recognizes her championship win, but Penn has removed her swimming records from its website.
So you're a teammate of Leah Thomas, a biological male, on your team. Great to see you. What was your reaction when you heard about this?
Well, my reaction was first, it's about time, better late than never. I mean, it started really 4 years ago that Leah Thomas was first thrust upon us in the locker room. But I'm grateful for the Trump administration. I'm grateful for Secretary McMahon for taking this step. And it is a huge first step. This is historic. We've never seen a university come back and say, we messed up, and really take this back. And so, again, I'm grateful for it. I think it's a wonderful thing that's happening. And like Riley said, I'm shocked as well, too, because I never saw this day coming.
What was your reaction to UPenn stripping the titles and swimming records away from Leah Thomas? Leah Thomas will be required to restore, basically forfeit all that, and the swimming records and titles go back to women on the team. Does that mean you get any records or titles back?
Fortunately for me, I didn't swim the same events as Leah Thomas, so that I will not be one of those people. But it's about time. He never should have been competing with us to begin with. He never should have been in a position where he could set a women's team record. And again, it's really just justice, not just for the female athletes affected, but really females across this country that not even just want to do sports, but just want to have women's rights protected. That's really what this is about. This isn't against anyone. This is about protecting females in this country, and having any male athlete competing in women's sports is a violation to females and exactly against what Title IX was originally intended to do.
So I wonder, and I've always hypothesized this, in order to get the vast majority of people, the people that are keyboarding it right now, saying that I'm a troglodyte or I'm this, that, and the other, whatever, because I believe that women should compete against women. I wonder what would have happened if Leah Thomas, the man that was in the swimming competition, beat a black woman. I wonder what would have happened. Or if Sha'Carri Richards, who's a phenomenal runner, if she loses to a transgender white man, I wonder what would happen then. I wonder then will the outrage tip in the right direction when you see a white man beat on a black woman in a woman's sport? I really wonder what it's going to take to make this thing really to get the vast majority of people to wake up and see the observable reality that you have men competing against women. Like, what is it going to take? A woman to lose a title that she should have won, should have been a shoo-in, should have walked right in and collected her W. She loses to a man and make that man a white man. I wonder what would have happened. I really do. So that's just my little thought process, my little thought experiment. Let's finish this up. Let's go.
You know, Paul, it's interesting you're saying this too, because UPenn also has to adopt biology-based definitions for male and female under Title IX. They got to issue a public statement. It's no longer going to let biological men in women's sports or occupy women-only locker rooms. How does this make you feel?
Makes me feel really, really grateful. And again, this is really just a testament to all the hard work, not just I've put into advocating for this for the last couple of years, but Riley Gaines and so many other female athletes that have spoken out against the woke mob. It really is a wonderful day. And honestly, the one thing I will say is we should want the University of Pennsylvania to understand biology because they have a huge medical center. You're telling me the doctors that they're training don't know the difference between men and women? That is why this is so important and why, again, it's so important that we've all fought and contributed to all of this.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were derided, mocked, attacked, verbally threatened. Paula, do you think other schools will follow what UPenn did?
I'm not sure, but I certainly hope so. And again, to the Trump administration, I say keep threatening to pull funding, keep making these schools come to the table and negotiate these things, because ultimately things are not going to change if pressure isn't put on these institutions. And so again, I hope this is just the start. I know there's great things coming from the Department of Education further on this, and I think it's a wonderful win. It's a wonderful start. I'm incredibly ecstatic about this. And the biggest thing I will say is justice for females across this country, whether they're athletes or not. This is a win for women's rights. A girl who competed on a different team at the University of Pennsylvania texted me last night to congratulate me for my work. I even had a close friend who also was an athlete who's actually a self-identified Democrat also text me and say that she agreed and supported this decision. So this is wins across the board.
Paula.
Yeah, I'm going to need UPenn to make a full press conference and say it with their chest.
Come on.
And I want the only person in the audience to be Riley Gaines so that we know that they mean it. From the left, from everybody calling her so many names, and it turns out she was right. If you don't know, UPenn is revoking all of Leah Thomas's awards, medals,
Titles,
whatever
yeah.
Leah Thomas got for swimming in the women's division. They're going to be revoking all of those, as they should. And they put out a statement, and that's great. But I need a full press conference. I need 10 toes down, out loud to the media. I don't want a written statement. I don't think that's good enough. I think they need to apologize to Riley out loud so we can all watch. All it took was a man in office and, you know, the potential to lose money to actually do the right thing.
They didn't just strip her of her titles, y'all. They erased her from the history. Gone. They made it like Shem never even swam. This is Leah Thompson. They said Trump team was like, nah, everything you gain from going into the women's sport, we're taking it back.
Who's not even supposed to be on the roster. This is a huge win for every biological female out there who has been told to sit down, shut up, and take it. No, ma'am, no, sir, not anymore. Because we are standing up, speaking out, and we are taking it back. So to everyone who is finally waking up and using the 7 pounds of gray matter between their earlobes, welcome to reality, sweetheart. Because this is what happens when you stop being polite and you start being proud. We're proud of our women, we're proud of our country, and we're proud of the fight. But let this be a forewarning to all of you. We're just getting warmed up.
Shout out. Shout out. I agree 100%. My daughters did not compete in sport in that way, but hey, I agree that women should be able to compete in sport against other women. They shouldn't have to compete against boys and underdeveloped men and low performing men. They shouldn't be able to do that. They shouldn't have to do that. Please forgive me. They shouldn't have to. And we haven't even talked about the atrocity, I dare say the trauma of young women having to be in a locker room with a boy. That's just insane. But shout out to all the women that fought for this, and shout out to our president and the administration that fought against the University of Penn. Shout out to the University of Penn making the right decision. Prayerfully, more schools will be held to account and have to make the right decision and do the right thing and protect women. Protect women. Protect women in their sport and allow them to compete and do and flourish all and be great. Shout out. Thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you so much for rocking with me. If you don't mind, if you haven't already, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you watched all the way to the end, leave me a green heart. Let me know that you watched it and you enjoyed it. And until next time, everybody, you know what we're going to do. See you real soon. Grace and peace.